We're coming up on Cade Cunningham's sophomore season in the NBA. Now, despite the fact that he didn't win Rookie of the Year, we got to see what Cade Cunningham is already capable of at the NBA level. Cade Cunningham is one of those modern jumbo-sized point guards, which is why he so often draws comparisons to Luka Doncic. The similarities aren't just in their size though, they both operate at their own pace, not allowing their decision-making and control of the offense to be rushed by the defense. We can see how Cade orchestrates the offense here, giving the ball to Cory Joseph and telling Stewart to move to the corner. He's going to use the handoff from Cory Joseph to get a slight head of steam going downhill, driving his defenders into the staggered screen action with Bagley. With Stewart having relocated to the corner, Joel Embiid is forced to make a split-second decision between tagging the roll by Bagley or guarding Stewart in the corner, and before Embiid can react, Cade throws it up to Bagley, who's going to get the and one. His slower, methodical style of play is contrasted by his ability to make split-second decisions. With the way that he plays, he's not flying around the court looking to cause glaring defensive mistakes that result in easy opportunities. He's looking for the tiniest of slip-ups that he can capitalize on, whether it's a small pocket that the defense opens up or an overcommitment on his drive. Cade Cunningham kinda operates between the lines. Like on this play, he's running the pick and roll with Bagley, and he recognizes that Bryant is pulled a bit too high on the cover, allowing Cade to thread the pocket pass to Bagley for 2 easy points. Here, he's going to bait the defense into a contest in the paint, and then he's just going to dump it off to Stewart at the last second for the and one. On this one, he baits the defense with his drive, and he uses his eyes in a subtle ball fake to make the defense cautious of the bailout to the corner, which allows an easy pass to Frank Jackson for the catch-and-shoot 3. Here he initiates the pick and roll with Stewart, and he waits for Jarrett Allen to tag the roll, which opens up a really easy corner pass for Diallo to finish at the rim. It's not that he's not capable of manipulating defenses, because he definitely is. It's that he doesn't necessarily need to, because his ability to read the floor makes it easy for him to read and react to whatever the defense does at any given moment. His playmaking is so powerful because he understands the cause and effect of not only his actions, but his teammates' actions as well. When you're aware of that, it's going to open the game up significantly for you to make easy reads and generate opportunities for your teammates. There's a maturity to Cade's game that takes some guys a really long time to develop, and some guys never do. Cade clearly possesses it from day one. He missed a fair chunk of the season, but over the course of 64 games, he averaged 17.4 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game. This made him one of only 10 rookies in NBA history to average 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game during their first season. When you look at some of the other rookies that were able to do that, it's really easy to start getting excited about what Cade might ultimately be capable of. Now, his scoring as a whole is an area of his game that draws a pretty wide array of opinions and takes. He's not really an explosive athlete, and while Cade Cunningham does possess good foot speed, he's not going to be a guy that's slashing and exploding to the basket for points at the rim. His scoring is predicated mostly on finesse and patience, just like his playmaking, and using that really large, strong frame to muscle his way to the basket and angle his body in ways that makes it impossible for the defense to defend his shots. This almost slow method of operation when he's handling the ball is really disruptive to the defense. A lot of the time when he's coming off of screens, they're expecting the obvious move, but Cade often opts for the less obvious option when it comes to his scoring. He takes the screen from Stewart and he snakes his way towards the nail, allowing Chris Paul to almost recover before quickly changing pace and accelerating towards the basket and putting it high off the glass out of Ayton's reach to get the shot to fall. Here, he's going to keep Westbrook on his hip, waiting for Stewart to get back into a screen on DeAndre Jordan, which is going to open up the lane for him to get to the basket for a floater, which leaves it just out of DeAndre Jordan's reach. On this play, he sets himself up to receive a staggered screen, which opens up a mountain of space near the elbow for him to get an easy pull-up mid-range shot. He does a lot of using what the defense gives him and allowing his opportunities to be dictated by the positions that his teammates are in, driving his defenders into their screens, forcing mismatches, and using the threat of his playmaking to get himself open looks. This is one really unique aspect of his game. Most guys use the threat of their scoring to generate playmaking opportunities. Cade Cunningham uses the threat of his playmaking to generate scoring opportunities. He waits for the preparation of the defense to decide what his next move is. When defenses play too far off of him in anticipation of a drive in the pick and roll, he has no problem getting stationary for an open pull-up. When the defense comes up too high on him, he's comfortable using that brute strength and generally larger frame to angle and muscle his body to the rim for the finish. I'm really interested to see what he's going to be capable of as a pull-up mid-range shooter in the pick and roll. He shot 42% on long mid-range shots this year on 125 attempts, which is right around league average. With him being a pretty pick and roll heavy ball handler, this is going to be one of those swing skills that can really allow him to hurt defenses in a variety of ways. With the increasing use of drop coverage league-wide, Cade being able to consistently knock down mid-range pull-ups in the pick and roll is going to result in either him getting a bunch of easy points or defenses being forced to play up on him, which is only going to bolster his ability to capitalize on passing lanes and defensive lapses. Now, as far as his ability in isolation goes, there's some room to grow. He struggles a little bit against physical defense and when being guarded by lengthier wings. As I've kind of covered a bit, he's not the most explosive athlete, and he can struggle to create a lot of separation on his drives and when trying to generate his own shot, which leaves him liable to be blocked or face a really highly contested shot. While he is a responsible ball handler, he's not exactly a flashy dribbler, and his counters sometimes come across as predictable. Now, again, this is an area of his game that he can grow into, and I don't think what we saw during his rookie year is the be-all end-all of his ability to generate his own shot. And as it currently stands, he's already proven that he doesn't need to be scoring in isolation to be an impactful offensive player. And while the offense of Cade Cunningham is no doubt exciting, his defensive ability is really the icing on the cake for an otherwise already supremely talented player. He's an incredibly intense defender, and it's very clear when he's playing how much he values putting forth defensive effort. On this play, Donovan Mitchell is going to drive on him, but he's going to stop and try and get into a turnaround fadeaway. Now, instead of just sticking a hand up, Cade actually pressures the fadeaway, continuing to aggressively approach the shot, ultimately forcing the miss. Here he's matched up against Kevin Durant, and you can see Cade immediately starts face guarding him. KD is going to try his rip-through move, but Cade is going to disrupt the motion and stall him, and when KD tries to get into a shot, Cade does the same thing that he did to Donovan Mitchell, where he continues to encroach on Kevin Durant's space, making him uncomfortable and making the shot even more difficult. A lot of guys, when they contest shots, they just jump in the air with their hands up. What I appreciate about Cade is that he continuously moves towards the shooter to contest. It's a blend of horizontal and vertical contesting, as opposed to the typical contest where guys just jump up with a hand in the air. And he's not reckless about it either. He knows how to angle his body and position his feet in such a way that he's not going to crowd their landing space. He's patient when defending in isolation as well, making his life easier by simply not allowing an easy right side drive and instead forcing Hero into a difficult sidestep three, a shot that I'm sure they're okay with allowing. Cade's help defense is really impressive as well, and he offers some rim deterrence at the guard spot on top of his perimeter defense. Here he gets beat off the dribble, but he immediately makes the right rotation and cuts off the driving lane to force the miss at the rim. He executes this rotation perfectly, going from guarding Aaron Gordon to helping on Jokic and then switching onto Najee in the corner and shutting down the drive and getting the block. His switchability and instincts make him about as desirable of a guard defender as you could possibly ask for in the modern NBA. Cade's pretty wide array of skills makes him a little more unique of a player than I think we acknowledge. He's got a ton of upside, don't get me wrong, but he's already such a good player in his current state. The best part about this baseline is that the areas of the game that are arguably the most difficult to improve upon, like defensive instincts, floor vision, and the aspects that fall under that umbrella of feel, those are already there for Cade Cunningham. The more tangible areas like shooting and counters, those are the areas that need the most work, something that's certainly going to come with time and reps and experience. His framework gives him all the makings of a modern all-star, and he's a perfect building block for a franchise that was desperately in need of one. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video. That's the #1 way to support me and help me to continue to make content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.